Hey guys, welcome back to another one of my Fer.al videos. Recently I've noticed a lot about the NPCs around Fer.al. From hinting about future updates to giving enigma recipes, the NPCs in Fer.al are a lot more interesting than they seem. In this video, I'll be providing some examples with ideas on how they may relate to future updates and one on how an NPC really did. With all this out of the way, let's get started. Number 1. The hinting at quests outside of the expanses. Currently, no quests have ever been in the Shattered Bay, City Fair, or the Sunken Thicket, and instead are in the Blood Tundra, Lake Root Valley, and Mugmire Marsh. Each week, the quests in the different areas of the expanse change, and with 3 areas to explore, this seems like an adequate amount of things to do. Despite this, I believe a few NPCs are hinting at the idea of quests outside of the expanse. My first example of this is found in City Fair. To the right side of the castle, we meet an NPC named Regina. She begins with regular chat about the castle, the full dialogue seen on screen, before moving to talking about looking for the queen's riches, and ending the conversation speaking about researching the castle in order to break in. This conversation is obviously sketchy, and moving to the main housing area of City Fair, an NPC, Rosemary, starts to talk about the same thing. She mentions that she and her sister, Regina, are tracking the guards, and pretty obviously not just imagining breaking in, but actually planning it. This seems like fun NPC dialogue, but what if it turns out to be a quest? What if you, the player, needs to help the pair break into the castle? This may be a little over the top in theory, but I think it's still reasonable enough to have a chance of this happening. A second example of this can be seen in the Shattered Bay. When talking to the NPC Dodger, he starts by stating, "The indecisive hawk perches at dawn." If you repeat this back to him, he claims he knew that you were part of the society, and asks for the secret code. Unfortunately, both answers you can pick are incorrect, but this really does leave room for a quest to take place. What if you need to help him find the code by searching around the Shattered Bay? I think this would be an amazing quest, and is definitely a possibility in the future. Number 2. The chance to travel outside of the known areas in Fer.al. The spawn platform in the middle of the Shattered Bay has an NPC, Icarus, talking about the cargo ships flying off in the distance. After reading this, I started to notice the large amount of ships in the background of the Shattered Bay. It's pretty obvious the bay is a distribution hub with all of its docks and rundown shops, especially due to the fact that it used to be called the Trader's Port. Just imagine Icarus is foreshadowing the chance to travel in a cargo ship or find and sell goods on adventures throughout wherever Fer.al is meant to take place. I think this is a big possibility as the game progresses, and seems like something many players would take interest in. Number 3. New enigma recipes. Before I begin, I want to state that I understand that this is obviously known by now. The purpose of me mentioning this is to prove that NPCs have been helpful with properly foreshadowing new elements in the game. In the second spawn area of the Shattered Bay, to the left of the map, we can talk to an NPC Oberon. Oberon starts talking about combining a basic hat sketch, dark skull sketch, and one other mystery sketch to create an enigma. The dialogue used to be a little different before the Fer.al reset, and a little less straightforward and wordier, but it still has the same meaning overall. Oberon has been stating this message from the beginning of the game, before the last sketch for the enigma, a broom, was available. This means that the Fer.al creators put this dialogue in with the intention of helping players later on. Understanding this really helps us realize how much Wildworks have been planning ahead. This dialogue was placed in the game pretty far before being useful, so I imagine some of these NPCs can foreshadow for months or even years before we finally know their purpose. Number 4. Potions. This is probably the most bland yet straightforward piece of foreshadowing from the entire game. In City Fair, an NPC, Layla, states, "Oh no, I can't remember if I left my cauldron boiling when I left home this morning. That memory erasing potion is going to go everywhere." This brings up the possibility of potions being introduced to Fer.al, and honestly, I'd be pretty disappointed if they didn't add this in. Along with that, Gemma and Halima, 2 NPCs in the Sunken Thicket, are both arguing over a mess caused by making potions. This works with Layla's dialogue and once again supports the introduction of potions into Fer.al. These were all of my theories so far. Please remember that none of these are guaranteed, and I made this video just for fun in order to show what updates may occur in the future. If you have any other theories, or just a strong opinion on one of the ones I've discussed, I'd love to hear them, so feel free to leave them in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video.